GoldenEye is back, baby, kind of. As Agent 64, Spies Never Die. John, you just did the review for us, and I helped out a little bit by playing multiplayer with you, which I'm so happy I did now. Now, the weird thing is, in your review, because of the embargo, we actually couldn't show any of our own gameplay. We had to stick to trailers and screenshots. So now's our chance to finally show off more of this game and why you ended up loving it so much as we talk about our experiences with it. So, John, I guess just to start things off real quick, what did you love about this game?
Just it nailed it. It nailed the feel, which I don't think a lot of games that try to replicate it is just like never had that feel. Never had the like, you know, when you look with your hand, you move the gun and your whole aiming in the corner. It's like all that stuff matters. All that stuff is important for the feel of this type of game. It needs to feel kind of loose, a little sloppy, but also precise when it needs to be. And then the multiplayer needs to be expansively creative with all these unique things. And I heard from the developers, there's like 71 different modifiers you can do in the multiplayer, which is crazy.
That's closer to like Perfect Dark's multiplayer than it is GoldenEye. Probably even surpassing Perfect Dark, actually. So that's awesome. And yeah, to your point, this is not only like the closest thing to GoldenEye I've felt, including Time Splitters and maybe even GoldenEye itself somehow. But also like I would actually expand this. Like when it comes, but there's been no shortage of like, fan-made reimaginings of games, spiritual successors, if you will. I don't think I've played a single one from any other game, from any other game series inspiration that felt as close to what it was based on as this. You get your hands on this game, it feels perfect. I only have a handful of things I would note about this game, but besides those, it is spot on to the point that you and I, we hopped in, we're playing multiplayer immediately. Like I felt right home with this game, and it immediately made me light up. I'm like, oh my god, I'm having a lot of fun with this game. Like, were shooters just better back then, or do I just really like how GoldenEye controlled? Whatever the case is, John, I was having a absolute blast playing this with you because of just how fun it felt, how tight it was, and even with the purposefully archaic visual design, there's something about it that also makes it feel like really playable, just because you can easily identify what things are, where people are in the environment. Like, there is something to be said about that simplicity that, at one time was cutting edge, but now actually lends itself to the gameplay.
Yeah, it's very, everything feels very purposeful to make it approachable. Which I like, I've said in my review, is that modern games, especially FPSs, have this like barrier of like twitchy, super fast reflexes. Like this game, you can have that. I'm sure there's going to be pro players, but sometimes you'll walk into a room and you'll just explode from a proximity mine. It's just, and so there's a set amount of chaos, and like I think the I'm sure the skill roof or whatever they call it is like pretty high. But like the approachability is really low. Like you can just hop in, someone can figure out playing because you could just look around and shoot and make it easy for yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a very low barrier of entry, which I think is what made GoldenEye so appealing in the first place, and its successor, Perfect Dark, as well. Not that there isn't, still skill here involved. This isn't, technically a party shooter, but the closest to that, I would say, or closer to that, I would say, than a lot of more modern shooters out there, which I think is also part of why I found it so appealing too. Like, there's simplicity, but there's still depth to it, along with all the modes, the variety of weapons, the fact that you can play online now, which is awesome. Like, again, I don't want to overhype it, but I don't know if I can. Like, if you played GoldenEye Perfect Dark back in the day, this game is absolutely up your alley. It feels like a third successor or a second successor to that series, like part of the same line almost. And to the point that, as you mentioned in the review, I believe, they're using the same stock sound effects that they used in GoldenEye for the sound effects of enemies getting shot. So it really does feel like, on top of the controls and handling, it sounds like you're playing GoldenEye, plus the visuals. And also, if you shoot furniture, it explodes just like in GoldenEye, which is hilarious. You can shoot a couch and it detonates. It's so good.
Yeah, and everything in this is able to be played with a friend. So this game is clearly aiming to be a social game, and I think that's what GoldenEye was back in the day for us. It was a very social experience. So the fact that they made it to where every mode can be played with a friend, online or off.
Right.
And so you can experience everything. And I talked with the developers. You can, through co-op, get those like achievements together. So like even if you play cooperatively, you're still able to get like those the par times, which are insane in this game, but they were insane like in GoldenEye as well. You just had to just book it.
Right. So I mean, almost every facet of this game works very similarly to, if not identically to, in GoldenEye, where you have all the extra cheat codes, like including even DK mode, or big head mode, I guess that they call it here, I think, right?
Yeah, big head mode, and the cheat modes are called paradoxes. And yeah, the 71 of them, I haven't gotten close to unlocking like even like a portion of it. There's so many because you have to work towards them.
Right.
You have to, and that's where I said in the review, there's like a synergy, something that motivates you to want to get better at all aspects of this game, because you really enjoyed the multiplayer, you want to get more out of it. You're gonna have to get mastery level at the single player, which then lets you appreciate the kind of like level design used in the single player, and then you get better at that, so you're better at multiplayer. It's a great feedback loop.
And to that point as well, I mean, I might be almost like beating a dead horse at this point with how similar to GoldenEye it feels, but the moment I first tried the multiplayer, I'm like, this level feels like a straight out GoldenEye. Like, I mean, it isn't. It's entirely original, but the level design feels exactly as I remembered it being. Again, as if it were a third successor, and that is to an extent the case with the campaign as well, which I believe is up to 4-player co-op in this case. Is that right?
Oh yeah, online, 2-player offline.
Okay, wait, 2-player split screen offline.
Yes.
Okay, and the online, it's what, 8 players total online? Is there split screen there too for competitive multiplayer?
For competitive multiplayer, it's up to 8 online. For local, it's 4.
4, got it. Okay, yeah, which makes sense. And no matter how you play, it's fun. But even the campaign too is extremely reminiscent of GoldenEye, as you were saying. I mean, in that it captures that arcade style of gameplay with the depth of the mission objectives, which also increases depending on which difficulty you're on. So the harder you play, the more there is to do, which is great when you're playing with multiple people, because you can split it up as we were trying to do, right? You have different people do different objectives.
Poorly. Yeah. We were doing it poorly because it also, I don't think I got to mention this, is like it splits the health pool. So you can't just be careless, which I think is a good way of kind of balancing out the like extra firepower, is that it splits the health pool, and if you want to get revived, you have to take health from everyone else that's currently alive. So there's definitely, you still have to cooperate and be like a squad.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how Perfect Dark's co-op worked as well, which makes so much sense considering this is also partially based on that game.
And these guys did their homework.
And honestly, given the fact you and I just played through the Halo remake recently, I kind of wish Halo had done that as well, because it's so easy just to be careless in that game and just go like bombarding enemies, because you can just respawn easily with your teammate. So I do like the fact that it made you think. Now, I will say, John, I've always been a huge fan of GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. I will say, though, I've always found multiplayer, for me personally, to be like where the heart of the game's soul is. Like, I like single player. Multiplayer is where it's at. And I will say that's the case here for me as well. Like, single player, I was having fun with it. Multiplayer is absolutely where I fell in love with this game, though. Because it just feels so true to the original, with how freaking fun it is, how arcadey it is, the fun weapons, the fact you can have rocket launchers, proxy mines, remote mines, lasers.
I'm gonna say this. I think the level designs are better than the GoldenEye levels. I know they're like, GoldenEye's levels are iconic, but some of those levels are kind of just like, what's going on? I think these ones have every single one of them has a verticality to it. There's like I don't think there's like a single stage that has like only one floor. All of them have at least like multiple layers, and I think they incorporate it to where there's always unique different subsectors of each area. Like there's this one called the castle that has a very open and flat courtyard, but then you go right to the next room and it has this nice like double stairway, which can create like a sniper, like a pinpoint area up on the top of the stairs. So there's like all these different areas that feel very defined and landmark, which is exactly what made those levels in GoldenEye stand out so much. Like the bathrooms and facility, like everybody loved going into the bathrooms, and guess what? You can do that here because there's one level that has bathrooms.
You can even spawn in the vent, I believe, and drop down the toilets, right? How great is that? Yeah, no, I haven't played enough to say whether I like the levels better here or not, but they are at least on par. And I will say the levels feel a little bit more expansive here. Like you have, the fact that we're not stuck on 64-bit hardware means that you can get bigger levels now, and there's more open areas. Like there's a whole level that feels like more like the campaign level Siberia from GoldenEye in a multiplayer form factor here, which is great. So I love that. And I, even some of my old like GoldenEye techniques I was trying to use here, like I would hole up in a room in this case, and like the Siberia level, just shoot people that came in through the door. But this time there are windows on the side too that you guys could shoot in at me from, right? So I couldn't just like fully cheese my way to victory.
Oh yeah, I saw. I was like, who's hiding in that room? It's not the AI.
It's absolutely me. And there's a variety of modes as well. It's not just deathmatch, so I love that here. But there's also like capture the briefcase, basically, which is like.
I think I really like that mode because it really helps out. If you got like 4 people on a big map, it helps kind of get everybody into one area.
That's a good
instead
one,
of getting lost. I think that's a good mode for like if you just want to play with like a few friends, free for all on a bigger map.
There was also a King of the Hill like mode where the objective area moves around as well. I think very Perfect Dark like ish. And there might be even more than that, but those are the ones we focused on. We also put in bots in there, very, again, Perfect Dark-like. You can set it up so you have your humans versus bots if you want, which is what
and
I
you
think
can have
tried.
them. You can have them be goofy. Like there was a one AI that was called like the Slapper, and all he would do is just melee, and you could just hear him when he's coming behind you. You just hear it behind you, whoosh, whoosh, and it's like, oh boy, the Slapper's here.
Do you know? Can they disarm you in this mode? Is that an option, like in Perfect Dark, or no?
I don't think so. Okay. I think what this game tries to do is it tries to streamline those games just to be a little bit more simpler. I wouldn't say by a lot. I say like there's no crouching, which can be used. And honestly, let's be honest, as kids, probably none of us used because we didn't know to use like aim and down to crouch. But it felt like it tried to crop out like the more complex parts just to keep it streamlined and focused on like the just hop in and play aspect. And there's some ups and downs to that.
Yeah, it does find a good balance I found between, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, because you could argue Perfect Dark went a little bit too extreme at points, like every weapon having a secondary, for instance. I do think I prefer the general simplicity of GoldenEye by extension Agent 64 as well. However, John, I do have to take issue with getting rid of the crouch. GoldenEye had crouch. I love crouching in GoldenEye, and that was one of the first things I noticed. I'm like, oh, I can't crouch here. It's one of the only things about the gameplay itself that tripped me up, because there were so many times like, oh, I could wedge myself into a corner here, reduce my profile, which they may have done for balancing reasons, but I feel like there's probably a better alternative, like maybe making your aiming less accurate if you're crouched, for instance, or something. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like there's be a better option there. It's still a ton of. I mean, this is by far not a breaking point for me, but it's like, I just wish he had crouch here, so it's truly like the original.
Yeah. So it's the multiplayer is super addictive. Like. Trying to figure out like what I like is all the modifiers I like to try to figure out. It's like, let's try something crazy, let's figure out something wild that's fun, and sometimes you'll get some really unique stuff. Like we had one match where I set the NPCs like weapons bullet speed to super slow, and we had rockets.
Yeah.
So you'd just be seeing these rockets floating in the room. You just didn't want to walk into them because then they would explode on you.
That's awesome. No, it's so freaking fun. It honestly took me back to why I fell in love with these types of games in the first place. Like, I just loved just how fun, fast, easy it was to get into it while still having strategy and depth to it. It was just a complete blast. That being said, John, I don't know what your complaints are. I do have 5 specific things I would love to see them address in the future if possible. Like, these are my 5 tiny individual issues I have with this game. Should I go through them?
Yeah, I'll let you go through them, and then I'll go through mine.
All right. First up, and I'll do these pretty quick. Number 1, it is on PC only right now. Totally fine if you can play on PC, but this game absolutely needs to be on Switch 2. It's too perfect not to be, or Switch 1. It's too perfect not to be on Switch and Switch 2.
Too perfect dark.
Perfect dark, exactly. Number 2 is the fact that it didn't natively, the controls didn't feel like they were mapped perfectly when I plugged in an N64 controller, like the NSO controller. I feel like it's an easy fix. Make it so I can play not with just an N64 controller. You can remap it, I'm sure, to make it closer, but also it needs a 1.2 control option. I used to play Turok style. They should add it here for when using the N64 controller. Again, minor point. Number 3, where you touched on it, no crouch, minor thing, but I would love to see that added. Number 4, power weapons, I think number 4. Yeah, number 4 is the power weapons don't shoot through doors, like magnums, for instance. In GoldenEye, they could. Here, they don't. Maybe for balancing reasons. I'm not torn up about it, but it was something I noted. Finally, for multiplayer, they should bring back the awards you would get, like, the most offensive, or like the guy with the most kills, or whatever. I would love to see those little awards. There's nothing like that. But again, those are all super minor complaints compared to everything else about this game. But John, how about you?
Yeah. Yeah, wait. I want to get one final positive before I go into it, because we haven't really talked about it, is the music. The music's really good. I won't say it's like up to Grant Kirkhope, because that's like, especially he was cooking in GoldenEye.
I mean, he cooks in everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But this one, it felt very appropriate, very on theme, and they were quite catchy. I really don't mind listening to them. They really helped enhance the experience. But on to my concerns is, yes, having those like little awards at the end of the match or any sort of stats would be greatly appreciated, because I feel like having small victories helps for people like who may have not gotten first place. Like they'll see like, oh, but I did this a lot. That's a very fun thing to keep track of, and it makes people feel like even if they didn't win, they mattered in the outcome. And even if you're called like the biggest loser, it's funny.
That's true. It is.
You know, and another thing is, I wish the mouse controls. I wish they adopted the same control style as the console. When you use mouse, it kind of just turns into a regular FPS. You don't have the unique like auto aim like energy. It feels like it just kind of locks into the center.
Using a controller, I feel like, is so important for this game. Like, it's meant to capture this specific era, so
yeah. And I even told you, because you were about to use keyboard, I'm like, no, use a controller.
You're right.
So there's that. It's so hard to find issues with this game, because it's really is probably the first in a like long time that a game that tried to replicate this feeling did it like almost
perfectly.
To the exact, perfectly, while capturing its own unique little like touches.
Well, like even even when it comes down to collecting ammo in the giant green boxes, there's something about that feels so satisfying that I missed. I feel like it's kind of lost in the era of making shooters as realistic as possible. You can't have giant green ammo boxes because it's not real, you know? And it just felt, I forgot how much fun it was just to pick up ammo or body armor, because this health works just like in GoldenEye, where there's no replenishing health here. You know, you get shot up, that's it. I don't see a body armor to help protect yourself.
Killing someone through like a window is so satisfying in these games.
Especially with how the glass shatters in the same way.
I love how the glass shatters, and they matched that for what it was. Let's see. Another thing I did have an issue with. I just had it. I wanted some voice acting for the characters. I know it wouldn't match what GoldenEye and did Perfect Dark have voice acting?
It did, actually, yes.
All right, so it could have pulled off of that, but you know, developer, if you get enough funding, please. I would love to hear like some corny dialogue. It would satisfy me so greatly on those cutscenes. Because nothing like a good hamminess of like spy interactions, you know. It's like, I thought you were dead, you know. It's like good stuff like that.
Yeah, they could choose it up on purpose. Like, it could have been a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, and the boss battles could have been better, but like overall, like bosses weren't really even a big thing in GoldenEye. I think there was like one, and it didn't even feel like a boss fight. And so I can forgive it for that, especially with how quick they are, and the stages are usually what matters the most. So overall, just a lovely experience. I'm gonna play this with my friends and have like a good nostalgia trip. I would probably want to play this more. We may even stream it, right?
I would love to, because when we were playing it for the review, like I didn't want to stop playing. I was having so much fun. Like a couple hours went by. I'm like, what? 2 hours have already gone by? Dang. But yeah, this game is a total blast. Honestly, I cannot recommend it enough to those who either grew up with those games or want to re-experience those games in a new way. Especially now that has, you know, it's of course widescreen. I mean, obviously it's the modern sensibilities, including 60 frames per second and the minimum. I think even higher actually.
Oh, it can go way higher.
Yeah, super smooth frame rate, online. Feels like the classics. It's a super fun game. It's honestly like one of the best feeling games I've played immediately in quite some time at this point. So yeah, I'm not using any hyperbole here. I just had a ton of fun playing this game for every second that we did, and I can't wait to play more. So John, any final words about this game before we wrap it up?
I'll see you in the battlefield.
In the arena, John.
In the arena, and spies always die twice, so I'll be back.
There we go. Perfect. So there you have it, everyone. Our long-form discussion with gameplay from Agent 64 this time. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of it, or you can check out the game for yourself. I highly recommend it because it's great. So on that note, everyone, thanks for watching. Check out our review for more, as well as the rest of our coverage on Agent 64, because I'm sure we'll be having a little bit more to say about this game. With that, we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.
See ya.